What's up, everyone? The day is Thursday, August 15th.
Is it really?
6:26 p.m. 97 degrees outside.
Feels like 3,000 degrees outside.
Feels like 3,000. You know,
I love that sweat that collects right there when you get back and you're like, let me smell some of that.
Can you just introduce the damn show?
I thought I just did.
Welcome to Joel and Randy's Texas Tea.
Is that from Undersweat?
Yeah.
From Undersweat?
I have at the table Undersweat and and Miss White. How y'all doing?
Good.
Yay.
Good.
All is well in the world.
All is well in the world. Pinky couldn't make it this week, so it's just going to be the three of us this time around, which is what this show is. I'm just sit here and see who's going to show up and hang out.
You freak out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I freak out a lot.
Oh, shit, are we going to have a show?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I freak out. Oh, yeah.
And then we have to come back and say,
Girl, you're going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be fine.
Mm-hmm. I had to have, this one actually came over an hour early.
Oh, right.
Told me to get from under my covers, put some pants on.
Was he in bed?
Yes. Yes, he was in bed.
Get from under my covers, and we ended up at the chocolate bar where I ate a large chocolate cake.
You ever been there? Aunt Edda's chocolate cake?
And Anna's chocolate cake, which is amazing.
It's huge.
It's just amazing. And had a little chat, little pep talk to get me back ready to do a show.
Here we are.
I mean, hey, entertainment is hard. Showbiz is hard. Shit happens.
Mm-hmm, I know.
But you move on.
You move on. The show must go on.
Mm-hmm. But shit happens on this show a lot. And we aren't even
That's right.
And we aren't even like, I mean, I'm barely getting 100 listeners a week right now, so
if they only knew what was going on
behind what was going on
the
behind the scenes. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of drama here.
Every week something dramatic happens.
Every time, and I know that when if Miss White looks at her phone on a Tuesday and sees me pop up, she sees a little, you know how before you get that message, if you have an iPhone, when you see the little three dots, like a message is about to come out.
Message is coming, yeah.
Oh.
I can imagine
they're still typing it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
So you can imagine that Miss White is going, uh-oh. It's from Joel.
She don't got it. About to happen. Missing somebody on the show.
Something happened.
20 minutes later, it finally arrives.
And it's like a book.
Yeah.
Girl, let me tell you what happened.
That's like just pick up the phone, just like, girl, just talk to me.
Well, dude, imagine if you were like directing like a movie or even like a short film or something. I mean, it's stuff that we're dealing with on the show, but times that by 100 because then you have like a whole crew that is dependent on you.
And I'm dependent on the crew, so when the crew doesn't show up, and I'm like,
well, the show must go on.
Oh my God, what am I supposed to do?
The show must go on.
Then I end up laying in bed watching videos all day, going, I can't get this.
Hopefully, you watch some good videos.
You know what I do? I go on Facebook and I click on a video, and then it shows all.
You're caught in this loop that you can't get out of.
I get caught up in a loop.
Oh yeah,
yeah, with all the little videos.
Oh,
like,
funny cat videos. Yeah,
I've actually felt like it's warped my mind before, which is unfortunate.
They always put the commercials in the ads. Right?
Why do you put commercials in?
Just when the good part's fixing to happen.
Well, that's why they do it.
It sucks.
How they figure?
I guess that's how they keep Facebook free, right? We should talk about the chocolate bar though. The chocolate bar is not a hangout for black men. It's
not slang.
It actually is a bar with.
Bar.
I don't know. It's my favorite bar in Houston, but it's chocolate.
I'm not a fan of the real chocolate.
The real chocolate.
Chocolate everywhere.
Maybe I haven't been introduced to it properly.
The chocolate
My
bar?
first introduction to the chocolate bar, my brother's wife, she asked me one year for Christmas when I moved here, what would you like for Christmas? And I don't like getting gifts, so I'm like, nothing. But she said, no, you're coming over, so I'm going to get you a gift. I'm like, fine, just give me dark chocolate. And so she ended up getting me a fuckload of chocolate from the chocolate bar.
How much is a fuckload?
But no, it was like a whole bag of like those chocolate bricks.
Oh, okay.
But it was all milk chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And if you,
I love milk chocolate.
Yeah, but it's
Fuck
not
you.
good stuff.
Milk chocolate is disgusting.
I love dark chocolate.
I like milk chocolate too, but dark chocolate is actually good for you
I despise
in
milk
moderation.
Dark chocolate is just
I'm
delicious.
a chocolate snob.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like milk chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like people who...
So you don't like white chocolate either, do you?
No.
No, I don't like white chocolate either.
I love white chocolate,
feel
which I guess by definition is
I don't
truly
even
not
like
chocolate,
people who
but
like
it's I love white chocolate.
White chocolate is just an abomination. To chocolate.
Oh God, I love it.
It's no.
I love it.
When I see the word chocolate, I expect chocolate.
So
I don't know
do
where
they
this
have-
white thing
Right.
comes from.
Do they have dark chocolate at the chocolate bar, or is it all just this shitty milk chocolate?
No.
No, they have everything.
They have all kinds of chocolate. Yeah.
They have everything.
And not just chocolate
You
too,
get
like
chocolate Twinkies, chocolate covered Oreos,
chocolate covered fruits.
chocolate covered fruits, which once again, don't put fruit and chocolate together. I hate that. Ugh.
Except strawberries.
Wait, what about strawberries?
Strawberries.
I don't like strawberries and chocolate.
Ooh,
I just don't like
I
it.
love them. White chocolate?
Mm-hmm. No.
Good thing you're not my Valentine, I guess.
Okay, well, just give me a box of C's candies and we'll be fine.
How
C's
romantic
are
is
good.
that?
C's are good.
I'll-
What's that other one? What's that other? One of them is really terrible.
Whitman sample?
Whitman sampler.
No, it's the third. There's a third one.
Oh, there is a third one. I forgot the name of it.
He's the worst. I think it's a guy's name.
Yeah.
Another guy's name.
Yeah.
Ghirardelli?
No.
Because Ghirardelli rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ghirardelli
Ghirardelli's.
rocks. Yeah,
Mhm.
the dark chocolate. Oh my God, is amazing. Their dark chocolate bars are amazing.
And the white chocolate is too.
Mm.
And their brownie mix is amazing.
Okay, all right. You all about that white chocolate. Mm-hmm. But yes, but David had made that joke in a way there that, it's not going to be a place where black people hang out. Which I'm like, if a black gay bar names himself the Chocolate Factory,
chocolate bar.
the chocolate bar, I would be upset, but
But
titillated
wait,
at the
Houston
same
does
time.
have a chocolate bar.
Mm-hmm.
I think Crocker is a chocolate bar.
Crocker?
Yes.
I've never...
What is? I don't know what that is.
Crocker is a chocolate bar.
Really?
Yes.
Where is Crocker?
Where's Crocker?
You've never... We need to go to Crocker. But I mentioned before, they started playing Latino music in between the hip-hop, and it's really ruined the vibe.
No, I
But-
think... No, you know what? I have...
You can't mix Latino... You can't mix Latino music and hip-hop.
Well,
They don't really go together.
Well, it depends on the music, though. I mean, if reggaeton, which is like huge, especially among the
I don't know what
islands,
that is.
in the islands, is a mixture of rap and
Like
Like-
Caribbean vibe.
Caribbean music. So yeah,
Yeah, they weren't playing that there.
mm-hmm.
So
So
they were just playing like top 40 hip-hop and then top 40 Latino music.
mm-hmm.
There wasn't any subtlety.
Well, blacks and Latinos, we love to get together.
I loved
sometimes.
Crocker before they started playing
Mhm. We just love to get together
Where
sometimes.
where is this? Where is it near?
It's on Crocker Street, and
It
it's
is.
by it's across from the. I always say Depth Charge. It's not Depth. What's that leather bar?
Ripcord?
It's like down the street from Ripcord.
That must be new because
I don't know this.
It's in a house.
Mm-hmm. That must be new.
Oh, is it behind El Paraíso? I mean, that Mexican restaurant there behind
Oh
that?
yes, everybody forgets about that bar.
Is that?
It's
that
not
the one?
behind it. It's on the corner, but it's on the corner right by. I don't. It's on Crocker.
I have to drive by here afterwards.
Yeah, I think we've been there before, but it was called something else.
Anyway,
It's been called
if you
like
want some
9
gay
iterations.
chocolate, go to Crocker in Houston. It's
It sounds like
it's pretty cool.
Sounds like you have a pretty good time there.
Actually, I do like it.
Mm-hmm. Actually, it sounds like you have a really good time there.
Okay.
Maybe
I'm not implying anything.
Maybe reading a little more into it than what I
I'm
am.
I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying
I
that.
like going. I like going into
Mm-hmm.
adventuresome places.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just saying that good for you.
You go, girl.
Marcus and I were talking about there was a lesbian bar, which is black. I don't know if it's still there, but it was downtown.
Wait, there's a black lesbian bar?
Yeah, and it was downtown off of Fannin for many, many years. It might still be there, actually. And the line used to be all the way out the building, around the building. This is how popular this club was back then. But a lot of gay men went, and it was...
Black lesbian bar?
Mm-hmm. It was fabulous. Mm-hmm. You saw the studs out there. You saw drag queens. You saw girl. It was
Well, how did it start as a black lesbian bar?
It just started as a black lesbian bar.
Are there a lot of black lesbians?
You know what?
That was my next question.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that would be
Yeah.
I mean,
sustainable.
if there's a black lesbian bar, then why isn't there just a lesbian bar?
I don't know, but
Do lesbians like to stay home, I guess?
I guess.
I mean, is there a lesbian bar in Houston?
I think there's maybe one. I think we talked about this before. I think there might be one.
I don't think there is anymore.
I don't think there is anymore.
Maybe the ranch is still open. I don't even know.
I think the ranch is still open.
I've been out of that part of town forever.
What's the ranch?
It was down in like on Braeswood and Kirby, somewhere in that neighborhood down there.
Oh,
and
I
it
like
was
it over there.
And it was like 3 or 4 different clubs in one. It was called the Ranch, but you had like all the club boys over here. The whole thing was a lesbian place. Yeah, and you have one place where they had like country and western, and you had all the lesbians who were boot scooting or whatever they do. And then there was another one where like top 40 dancing, whatever they were doing. I don't even know. And then there's like another one where they had like a lot of the gay guys used to go there. And then there was another one with kind of like a piano bar. I don't even know if it's still around anymore, but it was really big back in the day.
I don't think it's still around anymore.
I don't know. It was big back in the day.
I know that Berry Hill on the very far, far, far north side of town is still open. It's not on Kirkendall anymore. They actually moved it to the freeway. But it was a lesbian bar for the longest time. Although a lot of gay men did hang out there. But Marcus and I used to hang out there. So, yeah, it was a lesbian. I think it still considers itself a lesbian bar. But a lot of gay men still hang out there. So, it's the only bar in that neighborhood, really, for the girls who live on the north side. So, they all get together.
I must get in touch with my resident black lesbian in Houston and see what she can tell me about this place.
I don't know if it's still there.
Resident black lesbian?
She's a friend of mine.
Oh.
You always want to keep a good lesbian friend in your back pocket in case you need something at the house fixed.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you need to be escorted to your car for safety.
Well, there's that too. you got to keep a lesbian friend in your back pocket.
I'm sans any lesbian friends.
You need one. Just like, well, you can probably know how to fix things at your house. I don't know how to fix things.
Well, I know how to do basic stuff.
I have a hammer. Actually, I did. My roommate shaved his head, and he put all the hair down the sink, and it clogged the sink. And went and bought a wrench, undid the sink, cleaned it all out, rinsed it back, and I was like, yes,
wow,
I'm hot as fuck right now. that lasted for about a day.
Get your lesbian license. That's pretty good.
Well, you look different in my eyes now.
Thank you.
You're just so handy. That's so macho.
I also took my car battery and put it in a backpack and rode my bicycle all the way down to the auto place. Do you know how heavy car batteries are?
Yes, they're heavy.
Then you would put it in the backpack and ride your bike down there. Wow.
I would have been Uber.
I would exactly.
You're a better man than I am.
I was actually practicing stoicism at the time. So yeah, it was a philosophical experiment.
Okay.
It actually works.
We all go through philosophical phases. I understand.
It worked. I was like, I can do this. I'm okay. I'm okay without the car.
I was into classical romanticism for quite some time.
Oh, really?
I'm trying to connect the dots there. Okay.
There weren't any dots. They never connected.
I gave up.
Actually, you know who I just got into? Do you know who Erte is? I don't know how to pronounce his name right. He was an artist of it's not avant-garde. It's what's the big art in the 50s? Art Deco?
Art Deco, okay.
Have you heard of Erte, I think his name is?
No, it sounds spelled E-R-T-E.
Yes.
Then I guess I do know. I might have
you just phonetically spelled it.
I know. Well, I guess I must have run across him somewhere.
I got a book from Barnes & Noble with his art. It is so strikingly vivid and amazing. I've never been entranced by art like it. Like I have been with his. Like I never learned about him in my art history class in college. But college was a waste of time, so pretty much.
Is it really?
Kind of was, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of was. I didn't really enjoy college that much.
Overrated.
It's really overrated.
Expensive
I enjoyed
stuff.
more time at Houston Community College than I did at regular college. So I'm like,
I felt like it taught me how to think in a way, think critically. I think I got that from college, but they can teach you that in a year.
Honestly, just read Edward Said, and all your critical thinking is taken care of.
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, I have the book. I have the book if you need to read it.
But do you have it out?
Edward Said.
Mm-hmm.
Make a mental note of him.
Mm-hmm.
How do you pronounce? How do you spell it?
Like the word said, S-A-I-D. Mm-hmm. I think he's Israeli, if I remember correctly.
Give me a preview. Give me a taste.
Well, it's been a long time since I've read.
It's been a long time for me too.
Yeah, I'd probably have to pull him out.
Yeah,
And,
pull them out.
And reread the book. It was a long time ago, and the fact that I even remembered his name.
Well, what does he say? What does he talk about?
He is more on the line of critical thinking and rationality and politics and literature.
Oh, interesting. All that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Sounds like an English class.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did well in English. I did do well in English class, so I thought that one might be my major, but then I'm like, I'll never get a job.
Be a teacher.
Mm-hmm. I'll never get a job. I don't think, honestly.
Yeah, you could have copywriting.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching.
Yeah. Can y'all please leave teaching off the? Oh, I do not want to stand in front of somebody else's kids. I have heard teachers tell horror stories.
Being teaching in college. But don't teach kids.
No way.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-mm.
And you can. My friend who's an English teacher on Facebook, he goes to all these conferences and he's posting all these pictures with his literary academia people, and he's I don't know. It seems fun. He teaches children's literature.
And speaking of critical thinking, right here.
I can't read it. It's too colorful.
Ficciones by Jorge Luis Borges.
I've read some of his shit.
In
Spanish?
No, it's not in Spanish. I mean, he is Spanish, but I think he's from South America, though. If I remember correctly, yeah. I think he's from South America. Yeah. Wow, we have gotten pretty intellectual for a gay talk show, right?
This is too heavy.
Wow, we got really heavy for a gay talk show. We went from talking about chocolate in many different forms and a bar to critical thinking and reasoning. And this is
wow. My mind is blown.
Yes, I guess out of the group we're the three intellectuals. Huh?
Are we? Actually, Pinky's pretty intellectual too.
Yeah, but Pinky's point of view is a bit different.
How so?
Millennial. Sorry, Pinky. You know I love you, but
And I love the sister, but sometimes her thinking is a bit
scatterbrained.
No, it's a little too analytical. It's almost like she's a robot sometimes.
Oh, that's his whatever it is.
Yeah, it's millennial.
His specialness. That's his specialness.
That's his specialness. He's
a millennial.
He's a millennial.
I mean, let's face it, the three of us are not millennials, right?
Thank God.
No, we're Gen Xers. Everybody ignores. I'm happy about that.
Wait, we're the forgotten generation.
I think we mentioned this. Are Gen Ys millennials? I think we talked about this before. So Gen Ys are millennials.
Yeah, behind us.
I'm on the cusp of Gen X.
Yeah, you're on the cusp.
Yeah.
Go with Gen X. We're cooler.
I'm Gen X.
We're the cool kids.
All the way. Yeah, I grew up in the 80s, bitch.
We're the cool kids.
We're the cool kids.
So,
we're the forgotten generation.
Thank God. Let the boomers and the millennials
we're between the boomers and the millennials, and they're always fighting with each other.
Did you ever? So when I was younger and my parents hated my music, I always thought when I was in high school and I would play my parents some music and they'd be like, "I just don't like this. It's terrible." I'm like, I couldn't imagine any type of music that I would think is terrible. But now that I'm this age, I hear the music now,
and you're like,
it's fucking
terrible.
It is so terrible.
You know, David and I got into a discussion.
But it's void of soul, and it's too
how many times
effective.
How many times have we heard that when we were younger? The fact of the matter
I How many times we heard
We
that
got
about
into this
ourselves?
conversation in the car where David said it's vulgar, and I'm like, vulgar?
It is vulgar.
It is.
Girl, we danced to a song called, if I remember the words correctly, My Neck, My Back, My Pussy, and My Crack.
Wait, what song
And
is
didn't
that?
have a problem with it in the early 2000s.
Wait, what song is that?
I don't remember that song at all.
Wait, early
It's old.
2000s?
Girl, it's old.
Well, I mean...
All I know is, like, when I went to Baton Rouge 2 years ago, and I came back. And before I went to Baton Rouge, I listened to 104 all the time. Because it was just the station to listen to. The music was cool. It was, it was good. So 2 years, fast forward 2 years, I come back, and 104 now plays a bunch of crap.
Wait, did it change ownerships, or it just...
No,
it's just the music has changed. Yeah,
I'm
music
gonna
has
be honest,
changed.
104 has always played crap, even when I was younger, and it really hasn't changed that much. It's just a different generation of crap.
They didn't play a whole lot of hip hop back 2 years ago, and now every other song is hip hop, and I'm just not into hip hop.
Well,
I'm not into that.
Yeah, hip hop is a part of mainstream culture.
I actually, I hated hip hop for the longest time, but now I do kind of like hip hop. I have to say.
That's because it's permeated literally every form of music now, even country music.
Even if you listen to Mexican music, which I know a lot of people don't listen to Mexican music, but sometimes I listen to Mega 101, and there's a lot of hip hop mixed in with reggaeton on that too. So.
Okay, so wait, sort of gay question here, kind of on the realm of hip hop. Okay, Blondie's Rapture song.
I love that song. Know every word to it.
Is that the first rap? Is that where rap came from?
No. Rap is actually
it's considered the first rap song.
Is that considered the first rap song?
It's the first rap song that went mainstream or became mainstream. Blondie brought.
So if you have a song and no one listens to it, is it a song?
It is still a song.
Yeah, it's still a song.
But if nobody listens to it, it never went mainstream.
So. Otherwise, I've heard a lot of nothing.
But she brought it into...
It never went mainstream, so the first... You're saying Rapture was the first song that went mainstream.
So she did not originate rap.
No, she did not originate rap.
It.
No, she
was inspired by it.
Yeah, she was inspired. I'm not going to say appropriated. I'm going to say inspired by
I did. I'm just being PC. I mean,
I'm a big words.
I'm a social justice warrior. Fuck you, bitch. I will stab you.
I'm not going to say appropriated. I'm just going to say she was influenced by it. Because rap was already starting its slow takeoff. And she did fall in love with, I'm trying to remember the name of the rap group.
Is that what she called it, Rapture?
That's why she called it Rapture. But
well, if you listen to the words of the song also, it kind of is Rapture too.
I mean, it's kind of a terrible rap.
It is a terrible rap. I mean, my God.
But I remember when the song was released, it was cool.
I don't.
But when I heard the words, I'm like, so is she talking about being on another planet and some alien is? I mean, it was just terrible.
I was like in 5th or 6th grade.
She was literally just putting words together. And
yeah, so I said the song's terrible. But when it came out, I was like in 5th or 6th grade, and the song came out, and we were all that was the song of the day. Everybody was singing that song.
Because I remember watching her on Solid Gold. Google it. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you millennials right now. Every time I come up with a reference from the past, just Google it because I ain't got time to explain it. But
Solid Gold.
But Solid Gold, yes, she was on Solid Gold, and I remember going, oh, I like this song. I like this song. And my brothers were like, "What's wrong with you? You don't like rap?" I'm like, "I like this song. It's cute." That's the first time I used the word cute.
You were gay then too. Your brothers were onto you.
Yes, yeah. They gave me.
How many siblings do you have?
I'm coughing because Dad was a prolific lover.
Oh, is that a bad question? Maybe.
So there are countless siblings.
Oh, wow!
And yes,
countless
he
siblings.
loved spreading his seed.
Wow.
So there are countless. I'm just going to say that I have 2 brothers from my mom. And then there's like half brothers and sisters everywhere else.
That's fabulous. Do you keep up with any of them?
Stepmother number 4, maybe 5, maybe 4.
Wait, how many
maybe
times
4.
has your father remarried?
Now there are 1, 2, 3, 4 kids I think from that marriage. stepmother number 2
That's a big
had
carbon
one kid.
I mean,
I heard that there's
your dad
another
needs to-
kid out there somewhere, but I'm not quite sure. But I think there's and my dad in this current marriage, his son is 17.
I am 17, going on 18.
So, yeah, and he's 75?
Boy, still chugging?
75?
Is he still making
Oh,
babies?
God, no, No,
Ooh.
No, he stopped that. No. Well, thank God. This is a man who I had a conversation about Viagra, and I'm like, I don't ever want to have this conversation with you ever again.
Wait, who brought it up?
He brought it up.
What did he say?
He felt like
When
that,
was this?
this was years ago, but he felt like that, he wasn't at his finest and was wondering if he should take Viagra.
That sounds so old ladylike. You know what I'm saying? Like, not feeling their finest.
His words.
It just sounds so
Wait,
old
he
person.
just brought it out of the blue?
Just bought it out of the blue.
Wait,
Son,
you
that's
guys
not-
were just...
We were watching a game,
Yeah,
drinking
paint
beer.
the
We didn't
picture.
have.
Okay.
Okay, my dad and I don't have the greatest of relationships. We're both
But it's
kind of
okay.
assholes, but I'm sitting there. We've been quiet for half an hour. We're trying to figure out what to talk about, and that's when
And you're watching a football game?
and we're watching a football game because he has a football game on.
And out of the blue, he just goes, Joel, sometimes I'm not feeling my finest.
Yeah, kind of like a Massive
And
Deal
I would've been
commercial.
like, that's what I was just thinking.
Like one of those
I was
old
just
Massive Deal
thinking,
commercials.
yes.
Hey, I'm not feeling my freshest today. So,
And what
yeah,
did you say?
I said,
Oh.
okay, if you feel that whatever's going on, in your bedroom, take care of it. Never talk to me about this ever again. Not ever again. Not ever again.
There's a pill
And that
for
was the end of the conversation. So,
There's a pill for that.
yeah, so it was not the funnest conversation to have with a parent, especially one who should not be thinking about that. But like I said, I have a 17-year-old brother, half brother. So, and I'm 51. So, can you imagine?
All right.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
have
my
a brother,
father,
and that's it.
and he had a habit of every woman that he had ever married was a woman he had an affair with.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Mhm.
gosh.
So, yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Mm-hmm. And then after the last marriage, which actually lasted for about 20 years, I think it lasted 20 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, but he cheated on her like so many times it was ridiculous during the
Well, I
marriage.
mean, was
Was she aware of it?
She was
Silence.
aware of it.
Okay.
She was aware of it. But the man was, like I said, a prolific lover. And
Must have
basically
been.
knew how to keep his women in line, so to speak.
Okay.
So, she never really questioned it. She just said, okay, as long as he's coming home to me. And then when he decided he didn't want to come home to her anymore, which was the oddest conversation as well, because here we are at a barbecue. We're sitting on the steps.
Shit.
Everybody is full and had a good time. And
Oh, no.
stepmother is talking about, they're going to take a trip to the Bahamas. And they're
Oh,
going to do all this
no.
stuff, everything else. And then suddenly he's like, I'm divorcing your mother.
Oh!
Ooh.
Wait, out loud?
So, no, when she went in the house, we were sitting outside on the steps, and she went in the house, and he says, I'm divorcing your mother. And I'm like,
And you were like my stepmother.
25 years, and you are now deciding to, well, I feel like I've been married too long, and I'd like to be single for a while and learn how to be single. And I said,
I can respect that.
Why would
25
you-
years is a long time.
That is a long
But,
time.
I mean, you're taking a vow for life.
Mhm.
I mean, it...
so why are you telling me this? Because I know that
Wait, do you have some special bond with your dad? It sounds like he thinks you do.
No.
Well, I've been in that relationship before.
Okay, yeah, I think in a way, yes, because every time he got a divorce, every time he was about to leave whatever woman he was with, he would always tell me first.
Oh.
Even when I was a kid. So I guess he got used to it.
I feel a movie. I feel a movie coming on.
It's a good miniseries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Netflix miniseries.
Yes.
And I'm glad that my father never listens to this podcast. I hope he never listens to this.
This will be the one episode he listens to.
Yeah, because this would probably be the episode he would listen to and go, wow, you really put it out there, didn't you?
No, I think about that every podcast. I'm like, fuck. If I die, my parents are going to fucking listen to this shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, then
and they're going to be like, this is my son's legacy.
Right.
Hi, Mom.
Right now, I'm just
turn it off right now.
Right now, I'm just trying to keep the legacy afloat. Because I like audience, like I said, if you just knew what went behind the scenes, oh Lord. Oh Lord. But it's all good. It's all wonderful. And it might be time to take a break. I think it's time to take a break. Can you check? Because I think it might be time to take a break.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take us out the break. We'll be right back after these messages because, bills. So there we go. And pause.
What's up? We are back.
I'm back with David and Mr. Purvis, who I keep wanting to call Miss Pinky for some strange reason.
I rebranded myself.
Oh, Chris, if you're nasty.
No. That was fucking 3 months ago.
Okay.
I'm Elliot Brown now.
Elliot Brown.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to explain that one, please?
Well, because, my original persona was Spunkmeyer Brown. And I outgrew that. That was ages ago. And now I'm Elliot S. Brown.
What does the S stand for?
Spunkmeyer.
That's a good pattern here.
Yeah.
I feel like that's more of a British moniker that you've taken on. I don't know why. It just feels so British.
Okay, I'll go with that.
It feels like.
Do you think I should have a British accent? Do you?
Can you do a whole show like that?
Maybe.
Elliot sounds like a character on Doctor Who who would probably be like an arch villain or.
Well, then until you get to you got to say y'all, and you can't say y'all. So
I'm not an arch villain.
But it just sounds like a sexy arch villain.
I'm more like the wacky sidekick.
Okay. Or that too. But definitely British. Definitely British.
Okay, I'll have to work on my accent.
Okay, yeah, you're going to have to. Because I'm not even going to try. I know that I'm terrible at accents. So I'm not even going to even
Have you ever
attempt.
had to do an accent for performance?
No, thank God.
I was in this short film a few years ago when I first moved here, and this friend of mine was like, he was doing a film, and I was like, well, do you need any help with it? And he's like, oh yeah, why don't you be my French guy? I'm like, well, I don't know any French.
how do you do a French accent?
And he said, oh, don't worry about it. It's like, do you remember Monty Python? And he said, just watch a skit from Monty Python. And it's when I don't know if you remember the Monty Python skit, but they're on the wall, and they're speaking French, and they're really bad. And I'm like, okay, well, I can do that. So I practiced my French for like 3 months. It's a long time, and I finally get to the casting call, and I'm ready to do my lines, and I give the director my lines, and he's like, what the fuck is that? That's he says, no, just do English. Don't do any accents. And eventually he just cuts me out of the movie.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, fuck you, dude.
What made you think that you could do an accent, though?
I didn't know. I told him I could not do an accent. It was really
It's
bad.
so much Monty Python for a French accent.
Yes.
That's like, I don't... That's not even the British accent.
I think you would have been better off watching Pepe Le Pew cartoons because you would have definitely been able to pick up a lay something. Okay? Lay around? Lay meal?
Lay Mew. That was it.
When I was a kid, I thought that's how French people talked.
Lay Mew. Lay Mew.
I think genetically it's impossible for me to do a French accent. Like, it's just beyond my physical capabilities.
I just don't see, and I have tried accents. I think I can do like the Queen of England, but like in a really
Oh, no, I want to hear this.
Oh, yeah,
no,
me too.
I don't remember if I can do it because I did it. I used to watch.
Wait, how did she talk?
Because I used to watch Kids in the Hall, and I remember what's his name always doing the Brit. Yes, doing the Queen.
I can't remember his
Queen
name.
of England. Yeah,
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
always doing the Queen of England. So I would just sit around and I'm trying to see if I could pull it up, if I can just conjure that.
Oh, like Kids in the Hall. That was wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was a long
time ago. And I didn't actually start watching Kids in the Hall until 2000.
I didn't watch it until they were gone.
But it actually came out in the 90s. But it was a Canadian show, and it was on Comedy Central.
Oh, I just thought it was English.
No, it's Canadian.
That's where all those people got their start, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because he used to talk in a terrible... I don't think I could do it because it's like
Wait,
I could do it in private.
Seth Rogen's from and all that stuff?
No, Seth Rogen is not.
He's from Geeks and Freaks, right?
Yeah. Oh Lord.
What the fuck is that?
It's a
Is that a
bug.
fucking roach?
It's a bug.
It's a bug.
Excuse us, audience. We're experiencing bug difficulties. It was a roach or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep on eating. I mean, I don't want to stop.
Well, don't stop. Don't stop on that account. I mean,
Even though the roach was crawling across my chips.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Don't let
us.
Mm-hmm.
It's crawling on my.
Actually, I was just in HEB the other day, and supposedly they have cricket bars.
Mm-hmm.
Bars made out of crickets.
That doesn't even sound good.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
At HEB.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried them.
Mm-hmm. That sounds interesting. I've heard of people talking about eating crickets for years.
Yeah, like in Asia.
And adding them to like chocolate or what. And some people said they taste like Rice Krispies.
If I wanted Rice Krispies, I'd eat Rice Krispies.
I'd eat Rice Krispies, thank you. But crickets are
rice has the arsenic in it.
Mm-hmm. But crickets have lots of protein. So... Yeah. But we're not going to go down that road. I don't even know how we even got down this road. Because, yeah, let's get back into what we're going to talk about. Okay, so audience, let me put this out to you. We were supposed to do like a couple episodes on drag. But here's the thing. Getting drag queens on this show is fucking hard. It is fucking hard.
That's it in a nutshell.
Oh my God.
We did go see
some drag. Yes, we did. I went all the way out to Highway 6. Was it? It's Highway 6.
Yes. Isn't
to this bar called Broski's, which when
it's called what?
Broski's. Miss Pinky told me about this bar. Broski's. And I'm like, so we're going to a frat bar. No, we're going to a straight bar. A straight bar with drag queens. So it's a gay bar. No, it's a straight bar with drag queens. So it's a gay bar. No, it's a straight bar with drag queens. So it's a gay bar.
And it's way the fuck out.
And it's way the fuck out.
Where they eat their relatives.
Ooh.
They at least marry them.
I think they marry them first.
Oh, they eat other people.
And then they eat them later.
No, I meant they eat other people.
This is, I have lived in this city for a long time, and there's still parts of this city that amaze me. I go to parts of this city that I didn't even know existed. That's how big and expansive this city is. You can live here all your life and never see the entire city.
There's an entire mall that's like all Mexican stores, and it's right next to my house, and I had no idea it was there. It's an entire fucking mall.
Oh, mall? It's not a flea market?
Go ahead. No, it's not a flea market. It's a mall.
Really?
Yes.
I must go there.
Oh, you go to the north side of Houston? They have the outdoor flea markets. They are so amazing.
Yeah.
They are so amazing.
Houston has all these hidden things.
They're so amazing. Airline market. It's just like, I think it's like 3 or 4 miles of nothing but flea markets. And food and culture.
Lots of stuff on a stick.
Hispanic men and super tight jeans and funky
cowboy boots.
And funky cowboy boots with the little curly cues on the end. And Hispanic men in tight jeans and very tight jeans. I mean, very tight jeans.
I've been. I know.
Marcus and I used to go out all the time just to look at Hispanic men in very tight jeans.
I dated a guy one time when we went to all the flea markets just to check out the men.
Oh, and they have fantastic deals on stuff. You can find all kinds of stuff. Literally find
A lot of crap too.
It's a lot of crap, but for the most part, you can. I found a PlayStation for like $90.
I always thought like
I didn't buy it, but I found a PlayStation for $90.
I would never buy.
I would never.
Electronics.
The food was. I always liked the food.
Mm-hmm.
It was always good.
The food is incredible. It's very authentic. Mm-hmm. If you really want, look, in Houston, if you really want to get culturally authentic food, you can get it.
Yep.
Just don't go to the restaurant. I mean, I love a country where everybody thinks Taco Bell is Mexican food.
No, even though like the fucking Mexican restaurants here are not Mexican.
Yeah, right. Well, they cater to the whoever's living. Yeah, they cater.
Tex-Mex. Yeah, let's say some of the best food comes off taco trucks. Because they're like more like authentic.
Yeah, they're more authentic. You know, I have eaten at a Mexican restaurant. I ate at a Mexican restaurant in where you live, actually. El Ranchero or something.
Oh, Meyerland?
Yes, in Meyerland. And the food was so bland.
Mm-hmm.
I have never had Mexican food that was so bland. Or Tex-Mex.
Yeah,
bland.
What is it called? My brother's wife? What is that?
My sister-in-law?
My sister-in-law?
Mm-hmm.
I think I took her there once.
Mm-hmm. And
why does it actually sound familiar? Have we been there?
El Ranchero? No, and I'm never going to take you there because that food was terrible. I'm not going to say it was terrible.
Wait,
where are the spices? I think so.
Wait, okay, you must be one of these spice needy people.
No, I just want authentic, and I'm sorry, but Latin people love spice. No, I'm not talking about spicy. I'm talking about salt and pepper would be nice.
It sounds like you want some fucking salt. I was about to say
salt and pepper would be nice.
That's not fucking authentic, bitch.
But here's the thing. I looked around the restaurant and I saw the clientele and I knew why the food was the way it was. It was
because they were all black.
People. No, they were all old.
Oh, shit.
No, I'm sorry.
Never mind.
Black people.
Erase that.
Black
Rewind.
people. You're talking about black people who bring their own hot sauce. No, thank you. Black people like spice. We bring our. I have not me personally. You are never going to catch.
You don't like spice?
I love spice. I have, my father, when he came to Texas, jalapenos became his thing. He loved jalapenos on every motherfucking thing.
Well, why not?
Even on ice, he put jalapenos in vanilla ice cream.
Wait, that sounds amazing.
To see, he made it from scratch. That sounds
amazing.
And it was fucking amazing.
Jalapeno vanilla ice cream.
It was amazing. Something about the cream and the spice
keeps the spice from overpowering.
Keeps the spice from overpowering, but it was delicious.
That sounds disgusting.
It was delicious. I cannot believe how delicious
it was. Really good, actually.
The way he made it in an ice cream maker. He just wanted to see how it would turn out. And we were all sitting around going,
"Hey, we should have your dad on the show."
This guy sounds kind of intriguing.
He sounds pretty cool.
Why would you do that? And we took a bite and we're like, this shit is amazing.
Can we have your dad on the show?
No. No.
Can we replace you with your dad?
No. You know why?
You sure?
Because, yes. You know why? Because the moment my dad sits in this room, you know what someone told me once? When my dad came over one time, not here, but he came, I was living with the roommates at the time on the southwest side. I was living with all these people at the time. And my dad comes over and I had some friends over, and he was doing the yard. We needed someone to mow the lawn and do the trimming in the trees and all that other stuff. And he had retired from his business, but he decided to open up another business where he did lawns and stuff. So we had him over to do that. And he comes over, and two of the girls and one of the guys who was also gay were like, "Your dad's hot." Dad is 69 years old, but your dad is hot.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, mother. So they sat in the backyard watching him mow the lawn.
Wait, you had a hot 70-year-old dad?
Yeah, my dad's a very good-looking man.
So can we bring him on the show?
No. No, because then I won't be a part of the show anymore.
Why not?
That'd be neat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I won't be part of the show anymore, and you guys won't leave him alone.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So, I think this is where I get it from because my dad's actually a very interesting man. So,
Are you trying to say you're very interesting?
I
mean,
I
think you're mildly
I feel like I'm being insulted here.
Being set up for a joke, maybe.
I felt like that was a setup for some kind of joke or something, but no. I think I'm interesting. As he shakes his head and goes, "Oh, maybe."
No, I haven't determined that. Yes, you are a font of interesting information. It keeps on coming.
I sound like a trivia book.
Yeah. You have this dude on your table. I mean,
I do that to impress guys when they come over. They're like, "Oh, wow."
I'm sure they're just so, like, they don't even know who that is.
That was what I was thinking too.
Yeah. You're so smart. Who is this? Oh, don't worry about that. We're just going to the bedroom. Don't worry about that. But we can talk. But if you want to talk rational thought after that, we can do that.
I want to talk rational thought. That sounds hot.
That's just really romantic.
If you want to talk about that afterwards, we can talk about it afterwards because it might get you back in my bed. So, Chris, you need to calm down.
I'm calm. Trust me. I am calm.
I'm glad that was only a pint of vodka.
I know, right? Wait, these are low. Can you get high off these?
Why would you want to?
Why not?
Okay.
Why? He's sniffing
I'm trying to expo markers. It says they're low odor.
Why would you want to? Good Lord.
I think they used to make markers that they get like high off of them.
Yeah.
Like different flavors.
Yeah.
I never understood that.
Oh yeah.
I've never really. Well, you've never had poppers?
I hate poppers.
Yeah,
I hate poppers.
I'm not a fan of poppers either.
I'm not a fan of poppers. I'm not a fan of poppers.
Yeah. Really?
All they do is mess up my sinuses, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then guys are like, but it makes me horny as fuck, and I'm like, okay, I can't be horny as fuck just being with you. I didn't realize it.
No, it makes you like super horny as fuck.
Yeah, but
for like 2 minutes, and then it goes.
Yeah,
away.
exactly. So I'm like,
if you do meth, it makes you horny as fuck for like 36 hours.
Are you doing math now?
No.
Are you suggesting
that like Viagra?
Definitely do not do math.
Is that like Viagra? 36
if you're
hours?
talking about humping whatever is in your vicinity, yeah.
Oh no. No, not in this day and age. I'm not fixing to become a part of anybody's Me Too movement.
Then stay away. Stay far away.
I have enough issues out already, so let's not do
this?
that. It's a comb.
It's a comb.
Whose comb is it?
It's my comb. I have short hair.
Oh.
It keeps the hair in place.
Oh, I see.
So there we go.
I see.
I'm
just inspecting.
This episode has turned really weird.
Wait, no, we were talking about drag stuff.
Talking about drag stuff, and somehow we got off on your good-looking
I know. And then we went from drag to crystal meth. I mean, not crystal meth, but
MDMA.
MDA, I guess.
No, we haven't talked about ecstasy yet, but we can.
Oh no, I will tell you that story about that one time that I thought I was eating gum. I thought somebody put gum in my mouth, and it turned out to be E.
What?
Yeah,
I had an occasion like that too. Like that.
What happened?
What happened was that my friends had to make sure that I drank a lot of water and didn't die.
Well,
because I was on the dance floor. I was at South Beach. I wasn't with you that time.
South Beach?
Yeah, South Beach when South Beach when they first opened. And we were out late. We were dancing, and I had my shirt off, and I was having a good time, and everything else. And I love to dance, and I think everybody in this room could attest to that because he actually saw me dancing at the Numbers one night, and I just wouldn't leave the dance floor. But
he did enjoy dancing at Numbers.
Yeah. So I was dancing, and some guy says, "Here," and I'm like, "Oh, it's gum. I guess my breath must be bad." So I popped it, and my friend's like, "What did you just do?" "Oh, well, that guy gave me some gum." "That wasn't gum. Girl, that was E." I said, "Okay, what's going to happen here?" "Well, what's going to happen here is that you're going to feel really good for a little while, but you're going to be thirsty a lot. So we're going to make sure that we keep you watered, and we're going to let you just dance until you can't dance anymore." And that was 5 a.m. So
wait, where was this? Oh, this is at South Beach.
Yeah, this is at South Beach, and it was that night where they stayed open super late, and They're sitting on they're having a conversation on the little speakers, and I'm still just dancing. And I have a water bottle in my hand.
Did you have a good time?
I don't remember much.
You don't remember much?
All I remember
dancing
is
a lot.
all I remember is that I danced myself into exhaustion, and they took me home and they made sure I was okay. And then I slept for
it sounds like it was some speedy.
15 hours. I slept for 15 hours.
You didn't have any epiphanies?
Oh, everything was colors, and I felt like I was in a cartoon for a moment. And it was just weird. There was all kinds of stuff going on.
Were you having any intense feelings?
I was feeling joy.
I mean, it's called ecstasy for a
I
reason.
was feeling joy.
Okay, were you
and because
ecstasy, maybe?
And because I was wearing slacks, a hard-on for quite some time.
Okay, well.
A very visible hard-on, by the way.
Slacks.
For some of us, that's the way we go.
A very visible hard-on for quite some time. So yes, I wasn't, which was amazing because I didn't feel horny. I just felt, God, I just felt so good.
You felt
everything was just. I just
felt good.
I felt good, so good. But the next day, and I woke up the next day, and I just felt fresh. Well, it wasn't the next day; it was like that evening.
What happened on? What day was this when you did it?
I did it on a Saturday.
So how did you feel on Tuesday?
Tuesday, I didn't feel that great.
Because you know what they call Tuesdays? Suicide Tuesdays. Because when you do E or meth on the weekends, on Tuesday, your dopamine and your serotonin are so low that you want to kill yourself. And it's actually a thing.
No, I didn't physically... I physically didn't feel that good. I didn't emotionally. I felt okay. I don't know why.
Good for you.
I don't know why, but because
sounds like you need to do it again. You haven't had the full experience.
I had heard that from a couple of people, and I'm like, no,
it's terrible.
I actually feel fine.
Wow, that's great.
So it was kind of weird for me because everybody's like, oh well, a couple of days you're going to feel really, really, really
really in the dumps.
Really in the dumps.
That day just never came.
And that day just never came.
Wow.
Maybe it's because I'm used to being in the dumps, so I didn't really bother me that much, or
I don't know
what have you. But
maybe you're immune to the dumps. Those dumps.
Maybe those dumps. But yeah,
Oh God.
Wow. So
wait, have you done ketamine?
I'm not. No, that is my only. That is my only drug story, other than marijuana. That's my only drug story. And marijuana really isn't a drug story. It's more on the lines of
it's a plant.
I eat, I watch.
Marijuana is a plant.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, then so is Coke.
Huh?
Well, then so is Coke, right?
Yeah, but it's like eating processed foods. Yeah, it's kind of like eating processed foods. Coke is over processed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like eating
but pot's not.
Well, I don't know.
I'm just trying to connect the dots
I'm just
here.
quoting what the fucking Titanic chick said. What's her name?
Rose?
No.
Kate Winslet?
No, she has that pot show now. The older lady who got the Oscar. Kathy Bates.
Oh, Kathy Bates.
She has that pot show.
Does she really?
And she says it's not a drug, it's a plant.
Oh, Kathy. Oh, yes, that really terrible.
Actually, I never liked Kathy Bates, but now that I'm watching on the show, I kind of actually like her now. Because I always thought she was kind of like
it's on YouTube or something?
I kind of thought she was
on Netflix. It's an old school sitcom with a laugh track. It's just not that great.
No,
it wasn't that great. I mean,
what's it called? The Pot Show?
No, I forgot what it's called, but I know.
I must find this show.
One of my friends at the time said, "You need to watch this show. It's great." And I'm like, "I watched it. It's terrible." I'm like,
I must see this show.
Did you not read the script, Kathy? You know you could do better than this. Good Lord, this is terrible. I don't even think it's on Netflix. Can you still find it on Netflix? Yeah, maybe. I think you just have to type in Kathy Bates and she'll pop up somewhere. But yeah, it was a terrible show. It was just terrible.
Have you ever watched Evil, or is it called Evil Bong? There's some movies on Netflix called Evil Bong. Have you seen those?
No, I haven't seen that.
What's this about?
they smoke weed and they go into this weird alternate reality and things kill them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That sounds like a horror.
I must find this place.
Yeah.
A whole world out there I didn't even know existed. This is awesome.
See, this is what happens on. This is why I love this show. Different groups of people talk about different stuff.
Kathy Bates, I think of her in Misery, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the best movies
One
ever,
of the best
by the
movies
way.
ever.
You never saw it?
Ever.
No, I saw it, but I'd read the. That was my. First,
I read the book too.
That was my first Stephen King book.
Mm-hmm.
I read, and it actually was the only book that I literally, when I got to a part, I screamed. I mean, I was in high school or middle school, maybe.
Yeah.
I literally screamed and threw it across the room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
And now, any Stephen King book after that, I don't really care for it. But
I love that movie.
I grew up in a house full of Stephen King. These women loved every time a Stephen King book came out. The women in this house had the paperback copies. They would all share it, and then it would get to me, and then I'm like, okay, so I'll read this, and then I'll read some more. You know, the Dark Tower series, I read.
oh, you finished it.
I finished it, and I was like, oh, this shit is amazing. He needs to make a movie with this.
Wait, you liked it?
I loved it. I love the Dark
But
Tower.
you liked even when it got kind of weird?
Well, that's what Stephen King does. He gets kind of weird.
I read up to book 3 or 4, and then I kind of was like, you're making it up as you go along, and I'm so bored with this randomness.
I read the Tommyknockers, the Langoliers. I read It. I read Cujo. I read...
I read most of those.
Cujo was messed up. You know what, though? I've never seen the movie.
I think I've seen that movie.
I've never seen Cujo. I've read the book, but I've never seen Cujo, the movie. Because not all of Stephen King's movies are... Oh,
what is this thing you're calling books? What is this book thing?
I love that.
What is this book thing you were
You don't like
speaking
to
of?
read?
I like to read. I just don't ever have time to read books.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like Audible is like awesome.
Mm-hmm. Audibles is okay, but I like physical...
The thing I don't like about Stephen King is he doesn't plan his endings.
Mm-hmm.
So his books just meander, and they eventually just fizzle out.
Mm-hmm.
And you're expecting like this grand, like, I'm into movies and I'm into like climaxes and denouements and it all coming together, and he doesn't do that. And so you'll read a 1,000-page book like it, and you get to the end, and it's like,
Which you had to read with the lights on, by the way.
it's like, I don't even know, how did they fight the clown? They were like, oh, we love you, clown. Okay, bye. It's something so fucking stupid and retarded that you're like, what did I just waste?
Now, there were a couple
of my life.
There were a couple of scenes in It, the book. Now, I was 17, so it didn't really. I didn't really think about it because I was 17 at the time when I read It, and there were a couple of scenes where the gang who was always tormenting the kids, they had a scene where they were masturbating at a junkyard.
Yeah.
And I was 17, so a bunch of 13, 14-year-olds masturbating to me was no big deal because I was 17 and I could relate to that. And there was a tinge of a homoerotic element to it.
I actually liked those elements because I was growing up and people didn't talk about sex or anything like that. So
Especially not gay stuff.
This is my way of being exposed to like stuff like that.
Yeah, so Stephen, it at 17 to read that and go, I'm actually a little excited. But I was 17 at the time, so that wasn't really a big thing for me. I mean, to be 40 years old and go, I'm excited about.
Wait, 17? You're like a senior in high school.
I'm a senior in high school.
I mean, I read them when I was like a freshman.
Yeah, they were 13, 14, maybe even 15 years old when they were doing that scene, and it was like, I'm reading it, and I'm like, in my mind, because I'm still trying to figure out the gay thing and everything else, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. He included a bit of homoerotica in this scene, and I thought it was amazing because I'd read a lot of his books, and there are certain stories that I've read that had a tinge.
I never went overboard. I never interpreted it as homoerotic.
Yeah, it was homoerotic.
But there definitely was. Doesn't one boy reach out and stroke another one? Or something like that?
One boy reaches out and strokes another one. And at 17, I was like, wow, that's pretty bold. Of course, he's the Quentin Tarantino of books because he loved the
Okay,
N-word a lot.
Wait, does he?
He loved the N-word a lot. A lot. A lot.
How did that make you feel?
When I read it and one of the characters who is black and Pennywise does use the N-word. And then you have to understand that at this time, this is 1950s or 60s Derry. And it was the first time.
When was the book written?
Oh, the book was written in the
90s.
In the 90s. 80s or late 80s or early 90s or something like that. So the use of the N-word at that time was normal. That's what you did.
Was it?
I mean, yeah, it was. It was the 1950s and 60s. And he is, yeah. Oh, you want to take a break?
Do you want to take a break?
Okay, we can take a break. And
we'll take a break.
We'll get back to it in just a second.
And we're back.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. That was
board.
Enthusiastic and infectious, wasn't it? Ooh, yeah. Ooh, wee. Yes, we're having such fun. Mm-hmm. We're literally having to pull teeth to get this done. But
we're not. It's going well.
But no, we're having a good time.
Are you pulling my teeth? I don't feel like my teeth are being pulled.
No, I don't.
You're just dramatic.
I'm always dramatic.
I'm enjoying it.
I am enjoying myself.
Hey, you know what? What's his face says? What's his name? Who's the guy that ran for governor in Texas?
Rick Perry?
No. Never mind.
Dan something or other?
Never mind. It will not reflect kindly on the show. No, ask Perot. What did he say?
Oh, he ran for president.
Oh, no, he ran for president, yes.
Yeah.
Twice, I think, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, never mind.
Oh, Ross Perot. I haven't thought about him.
Good old Ross Perot.
He's dead. He just passed away
last month? He passed away
last month?
Last month, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was...
I remember him from, when I was in, was it 9th or 10th grade in high school, and House Bill 72, and he was one of the architects of House Bill 72, which was the beginning of No Pass, No Play, back in, Texas not being able to play football. That's, sacrilege,
Mm-hmm.
But he was one of the masterminds behind No Pass, No Play.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And we all hated Ross Perot. We all hated him. And he started running for president about the same time. We were all eligible to start voting. So we all had everybody who was affected by No Pass, No Play was.
But it's a good law, isn't it?
Looking back, yes, but at the time we were all hating it because this is Texas. Football is church, God, and football. That's the way it was.
I feel like I was never really a Texan because I was never about really any of those things.
Even when I was in high school, I didn't play football. I didn't play in band, but I was the Deer Park Deer. Our mascot was a deer, and we had this big plastic deer that we run along the sidelines every time we scored, and I was passing all my classes. But
Your mascot was a deer?
Yeah, but I had to take the sheet of paper to all my teachers every 6 weeks to make sure that I was passing in order for me to be a deer escort. So,
wait, your mascot was a deer?
Deer Park Deer?
You were the mascot?
No, oh my God,
an escort?
Our mascot was Deer Park. It was a deer. Okay, it was Deer Park High School. Our mascot was a deer. And we had this big, huge plastic deer.
You were escorting the deer.
Right. And it was just, every time we scored, we'd pick up this thing and we'd run up and down the sidelines. Me and about 4 or 5 other people would run up and down the sidelines every time we scored. And
so there wasn't a mascot.
It was
just an escort.
A deer.
Yeah, the mascot was a deer.
I mean,
it was the escort.
And we were the escorts for this. We were the escorts for this deer. It was not a person.
We were dragons. Round Rock Dragons. Round Rock, Texas, bitch.
We were Sam Houston Tigers. We were the Sam Houston Tigers.
I have to say dragon's pretty cool than tiger or
well, yeah.
Whatever.
Dragon is always
deer.
Pretty cool.
Whatever. Deer.
Dragon is always
people
cool.
hunt deer. Do you hunt a dragon? I mean, come on.
Do you hunt a tiger?
Yeah.
Would you want to hunt a tiger?
I think deer are afraid of tigers, aren't they?
I'm sorry, dragon trumps everything.
Well,
unless it's
fair.
I mean, unless it's a unicorn or something.
I think in the coolness factor, maybe, yeah, probably dragons trump everything.
And we had a big rusty dragon on the outside of the gym. It was pretty cool.
And you had a person who dressed up as a dragon?
I was trying to remember that. I mean, I guess so. I wasn't really into sports, so I don't remember. There must have been a dragon mascot.
I know our team lost every year, so I didn't really care. We lost
Deer
to
Park
everybody. We
Deer
literally
Park was
lost to everybody. Except Bel Air. We always seem to beat Bel Air.
Deer Park was awesome. We rocked it all the time.
We always seem to beat Bel Air, but every other team, we always
Wait,
lost.
where is the Bel Air High School?
It's here in Houston area.
Is that on Rice?
That's here in the Houston area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I pass by it every day.
Mm-hmm.
On my way to the Bel Air library.
You know, I used to do UIL.
I did too.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
And
UIL stage?
Yeah.
Acting?
Well, no, I did speech.
Oh.
Yeah, I was in speech competition.
Yeah, I did speech competitions too.
I did speech competition.
Oration.
Mm-hmm.
Oration and debate.
Yep. I did oration.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What would you
I didn't.
What would you orate?
We did something every year.
We had contests. Like, there were local contests, like in the community,
contests.
that you would go and you would give this speech, and they basically graded you on your oratory. It's how I learned to speak in front of audiences. I was terrified to talk in front of an audience. Now I can do it without even thinking about it. It was pretty awesome. And I won awards, too.
Do they still do stuff like that in schools?
I don't know.
Because I know they're cutting back on budgets and shit. I can't imagine growing up and not having a band, not growing up playing baritone like I did, even though I don't really care about baritone, but just learning music and growing up with theater. I can't imagine having a childhood without those
drama
institutions.
Yeah.
You know, when I first came to Houston,
it's kind of tragic.
I played cello.
What?
Yeah, I played cello. Not good. I was horrible, but I played cello.
Write that out.
Yeah, I played cello.
This.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I played cello. And here I was this little tiny guy, and I would have to carry my cello home.
That's
my
as big as
cello
you
was
are.
Huge.
Wait, is that the one where you stick it between your legs?
There was the bass and the cello, and the bass is like
what's the cello?
almost 6 feet tall, and then the cello is the mid. It's part of the it's strings. It's strings, so it's part of the violin family.
Do you still stick it between your legs?
Yeah, you still stick it between your legs, and you had to play. And I could play.
You played the cello?
Yeah, for about a year. I was terrible, but what I really wanted was a trumpet. But I couldn't blow into the trumpet. I didn't have the lung capacity to blow into a trumpet to make anything come out.
The strings are so much hotter.
And then I wanted to play drums, but everybody wanted to play drums. Of course, everybody wanted. And my stepmother at the time said, "You are not bringing drums to this house."
You know what I wanted to play? I wanted to play flutes. And the band guy was like, "Your lips aren't right for
I kind of get that. I'm just
like,
in my head.
I understand. Like, boys are not supposed to play flutes.
Well,
but I tried to play flute too, and once again, I did not have the lung capacity to make sound come out of it. I just could not make sound come out of it. No matter how hard I blew, I could not make sound come out.
I always wanted to play trombone, and I had asthma so bad when I was a kid that I couldn't even play musical instruments.
You know what I thought was...
But I always wanted to play trombone.
Trombones are pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I thought was sexy? Now, as a kid, I don't know if I thought it was sexy, but I thought it was sexy. I wanted to play French horn.
French horns are sexy.
French horns.
That's pretty cool.
French horns were like...
But,
cool.
I don't find any brass instruments sexy because I know or any air instruments sexy because I know there's like spit coming out of it.
That is kind of gross.
I think strings are hot as fuck.
So I came out, so I played cello at Garden Villas Elementary when I was a kid, when I first moved to Houston, and I'm like...
Well, how good did you get?
Apparently not very, just 1 year.
Very good. I only played it for a year.
Was that your first instrument?
Yeah, that was my first instrument.
Oh, okay. Good for you.
Yeah, that was my first instrument. And
it
was fun. It was fun. And then I decided I didn't want to play music, and I became like the school, hall monitor. I was hall monitor.
You gave up cello for hall
Yes,
monitor?
There was power in that. I get to wander the halls, make sure all the kids were in class. I got beat up a lot, but I still made sure all the kids were in class.
Most of my life he's a narc. Think about that.
Yes. So most of the time, I ended up getting beat up by girls a lot. A lot. I ended up in a lot of love triangles when I was a kid.
Because you were in love with their boyfriend.
No, because I didn't understand what was going on at the time when it came to girls.
Yeah.
So one girl said she liked me, another girl said she liked me, and then suddenly I end up in a triangle where I'm trying to figure out which girl. And then I kissed a girl one time, and her parents called my parents. And then I got
it's hard. It's
reprimanded
hard.
for
it's
that.
It's hard when you're gay and you're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm a kid, and I'm like, I don't really.
Am I straight? But I'm gay, and I just need to fake this.
I'm like, am I supposed to do this stuff? And of course, I watched a lot of TV, so I'm like, I'll just do what they do on TV. So I tried that stuff, and I'm like, no, this is not for me. And then I ended up getting beat up, but by girls. I don't know why by girls. It was always by girls.
How bad did you get beat up?
Here's what happened.
Well, this is the 80s, so
here's what happened. I was
on my way
home. He had a Rubik's Cube.
Curling irons.
I was on my way home with my cello, and I did not have any friends. And these two girls who thought that I was like their boyfriend.
Wait, I'm confused.
Got in.
How do you not have friends?
Well, I didn't really have a lot of friends. I was
a nerd. I didn't have a lot of friends.
I didn't have a lot of friends.
I was a nerd, but I had friends.
I didn't have a lot of friends. I cannot recall. I did not have a lot of friends. I had my brothers.
Who would you hang out with in the summer?
My brothers. I didn't.
You had a lot of brothers.
My brothers had a lot of friends. Michael. Oh my God. Michael was like super popular. Everybody loved Michael.
Well, I wasn't super popular.
He was. Michael
though.
was the shit. Michael. He's my middle brother. He's like 1 year younger than I am. Michael was the shit. He had always been the shit since elementary school. He always had lots of friends, blah, 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 blah. But I didn't have that many.
I was the same way in high school.
Mm-hmm. I didn't have that many friends. I might have had one or two friends, but that didn't happen until middle school. And I think I had but people just made fun of me all the time.
Well, I got picked on too.
Mm-hmm. Except when... I'm sorry. Except when they needed me to take tests, because they would always cheat off me on tests. Because I was like the smartest one in the room, but for the most part...
It was like my junior or senior year that I started actually friends in school too. The same way. In my senior year, I came out. So that was a whole different set of friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, I didn't actually make friends until high school, and we were all nerds.
Yeah. My friends were all
we were all nerds.
Yeah, we were all nerds too.
They were the only people who would accept me. So
we were all like the smart kids, but I was like the dumbest of the smart kids, and they were all like really smart, and I was just like above average.
I was in all those AP classes, and I was just like I didn't hang around with those people. That's just, it was a different. You had like the straight A people, and they were like a little clique, and then you had like my group, and we were like nerds, and we kind of kept to ourselves, but it was just kind of too different.
There was just the AP people. We weren't separate.
And then something amazing happened to me in high school. What? It was the most amazing thing ever. I realized I had a sense of humor. And that allowed me to like kind of move up from the nerds to like hanging out with the athletes and the
humor
cheerleaders.
Is very powerful.
And all this other stuff. And I got to go to like
I discovered that girls thought I was funny. So I just loved cracking girls up.
Every girl said the same thing to me. I thought you were gay. I think you're gay, so no, this is not going to happen. And I'm like, I'm like super confused. I thought I was doing all the stuff that boys are supposed to be doing. Like I said, I was super into like movies and stuff, so I thought like 16 Candles was my rule book on how to be like the guy.
Awesome movie.
Awesome. 16 Candles was amazing. I identified with Anthony Michael Hall so hard it was ridiculous.
I was never a 16 Candles guy. I'm like Breakfast Club all the way.
Breakfast Club was good.
16 Candles just never did anything.
16 Candles was my
I think it was a little bit before my time.
Yeah, it was like my go-to. I'd seen the movie like 19 times. And all because I loved Molly Ringwald. I loved her. I'm like, I wish I could have just hung out with her. At the time, I said I would date her, but I honestly don't think I would have dated her. I think we would have just been hanging out and like best friends kind of thing. So
to each other's nails.
Yeah, exactly. So I got all my rules from those movies. So when I tried to apply them in real life, they didn't work so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are like the Bible for us going out.
I mean, I knew those. We talked about this before, though. But I always knew like those rules from the movies weren't actually rules for real life. Like I never thought you could actually apply the same. But you were like, oh, the rules that you got from the movies about boyfriends or whatever, you can apply those to real life, but you can't. They're not even the same thing.
Well, in a certain level, they kind of were because, well, in high school, you had the nerds, you had the jocks, you had everybody hung out in cliques. So, and even the high school I went to, was a little different. It was very mixed school. It was a very mixed school. So everybody always hung out with people they identified with. You have white people here, you have Hispanic people here, you have black people here. No one ever seemed to intermingle as much, but I could, and I didn't understand how I could do that, but I could. I could go from group to group to group, and that's like I said, when I discovered that I had a sense of humor, I could go from group to group to group, and everybody's like, "Oh, Joel's here," blah 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 blah. So I would tell jokes and all this other stuff. Also, I was smart, so they would, I would help the jocks with their homework, and cheerleaders liked hanging out with me because, I was one of the girls, basically. I think that's what one of the girls said, and I didn't get the reference at the time, but I'm like, okay, sure. I'm hanging out with the cheerleaders. So, yeah, so I went from group to group to group, and I could still hang out with my nerd friends and do that, and they didn't have a problem with it. In fact, they loved the fact that I was able to, if we were sitting at a table playing D&D, and which we did a lot, we were sitting at a table playing D&D, one of the cheerleaders would, "Hey, Joel, English class, can you help me with such and such?" "Yeah, sure, I can do that." And you just go right back to the book, and they're like, "How can you do that?" "Dude, get a sense of humor. It works. It fucking works."
Can you imagine doing
so
that?
It helped me get through
No.
high school. Because, like I said, elementary school and middle school were miserable for me.
Yeah.
They were completely miserable for me. Being smart was miserable. Being black was miserable. It was just a miserable time for me. But high school, once I discovered that I had a sense of humor, I was able to, not be bullied. I could get through high school, and it was great.
I would say middle school was insanely miserable. High school was pretty bad. But high school was tolerable, and then senior year was the fucking bomb.
I think the worst thing and the most amazing thing that happened to me in high school, I was in my senior year, and I was in English class, and I had my English teacher. I really wish I could remember her name because she turned out to be a really amazing woman. My English teacher, who was black, but she was Presbyterian, traditional Presbyterian. She always wore her hair in a bun. She never wore makeup. She never wore outrageous clothes.
I think that's Pentecostal, isn't it?
I think, yes, Pentecostal. So we had one gay kid in the class, and he was gay. He was, every day he would sit. He would always sit. The funny thing is that his seat was always by the door. He was the first person in the row. His seat was always by the door. And he would pull out his compact, and he would do his makeup.
What?
And all the kids would make fun of him.
Well, yeah.
But he would put on his
I don't know what I would do if I saw that.
He would put on his makeup.
In that day and age.
Before class started, and then he would put his compact away, and we go back to class. And she ruled the class. So literally, the moment she stepped into class, everybody was in their seat, and you were quiet, and you were listening to what she was saying because she ruled it. So one day, he was not there for 3 days. He was sick. He had the flu. You realize that at the same time, AIDS had come out. So the first thing everybody thought was, oh, shit, this fag has AIDS. He's been sick for 3 days, blah, 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 blah. And my teacher, one of the guys came in, and he's like, oh, I don't want to sit next to that kid because he has AIDS and blah, 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 blah. And my teacher said, okay, let's have this conversation because I think we need to have this conversation. I know that, one, I know who Juan is, and I know that you guys make fun of him all the time when I'm not around.
Heavy conversation for that time.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, he is out with the flu. I already talked with his mother. He's out with the flu. He'll be back tomorrow. Secondly, I don't want to hear any more talk about AIDS or anything else in this classroom ever again.
Good.
And this is the last time that we are going to have this conversation in this classroom. If you have a problem with it, you can go to the principal.
That would be like my new safe space.
That's when teachers...
You knew what?
Safe space.
Yeah, that's when teachers had control.
Yeah.
So, when he came back to class, as usual, before class started, before the bell rang, he sat in his usual place, took out his compact, put on his makeup, and we had class. And I always admired him. I always admired the fact that he could be himself. And from that point on, I just...
But he must have been bullied.
Oh,
He had to be.
He had to be. But at the same time, I realized something. I'm like, wait, this guy can like be himself in this environment. And I think that's when I started to change a little bit. My clothes got a little different. My attitude became a little different. I would wear like, I started to wear like these big outrageous shirts. Remember when George Michael had those big Life shirts and everything else? I'd wear like mismatched tennis shoes. One red shoe. They would both be high top, but one red shoe, one green shoe. And kids would be like, why is he dressing like that? Blah, 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 blah. And I colored my hair, and I did all kinds of outrageous things. It was my senior year. I was going to have a great time. And I did all this. And it was because of him. Because I got to, he got to be himself all the time.
We should have him on the show.
Find him.
What's his name?
Good Lord, girl. That was, 35 years ago?
I was talking about strange clothes and everything. I remember wearing my blue jeans inside out to school because that was kind of the thing that you did, back in the
exactly
the 80s. But because I graduated in '87, but and I remember I lived with my grandparents at the time. And they would just chew me out all the time for wearing my jeans inside out.
My parents, every time I walked out the door, they're like,
yeah.
Oh my God!
Shoes,
are you really gonna wear that to school?
My shoes are mismatched. I'd wear the same pair of shoes, but I'd have like these fluorescent green shoelaces on one and fluorescent pink shoelaces on the other. And then, of course, they're always high tops because that's what we wore back then. And my grandparents would just rolling their eyes. Please don't wear that outside this house, David. And it was just all these things because we're kind of remember Boy George was the culture icon, so to speak, as far as what to wear and who kind of became the trendy thing to wear. So anything he was wearing, Boy George was wearing, anything George Michael was wearing, that was the in thing. And Frankie relax, that big white t-shirt, big old white t-shirt to say relax on
relax, yeah. Oh yeah,
I had all those shirts.
Yeah, I went through that whole phase, and amazingly enough, though, the funny thing is that, and I kind of feel guilty for this. I could get away with it, and I always felt bad for Juan because Juan always got picked on and bullied for being himself. I could go out and do all this outrageous things because people already knew who I was, and that's exactly what they. Oh, here comes Joel, and I had one kid who was like the super ultra conservative guy. This kid, another black kid. This kid came to school with a briefcase and a suit. He wore a suit to school.
Wow.
A 3-piece suit to school every day. He knew what he wanted to be. His suit, from ninth grade up, he knew exactly. He always wore a 3-piece suit and carried a briefcase.
What was that show called? Growing Pains? Was that the one
with Mike Stevens?
No, you're talking about. You're talking about the other one with Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
Family
Ties.
Family Ties. But he always came to school in a suit, and I was the opposite direction. But I also carried a briefcase.
Oh,
just to piss him off.
Oh,
and he and I took a Spanish class together, and we got into a huge debate in Spanish class because he's like, "Oh, you're just like this weirdo guy," and blah blah. I'm like, weirdo. You come to school in a 3-piece suit and carry a briefcase. Are you fucking serious? Who's the weird one here? You literally come to school in a suit. And, I know what my plans are. I'm gonna go into business and I'm gonna be this and that and blah 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 blah. And I'm gonna take over the stock market and everything else.
Shit!
He probably
may
did.
have.
He may have. He had goals. He had
His name?
a vision. His name was Stephen Carter. I remember him because Stephen and I did not like each other.
Stephen Carter, if you're out there.
I think Stephen and I actually did like each other.
Oh, shit.
You know.
If you're out there, hey.
Stephen Carter from where?
Sam Houston Senior High School.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Stephen had his shit together.
Email us.
Mm-hmm. Email me, Stephen, because I think you and I had a connection there that you didn't want to admit at the time.
And his wife's probably listening to the show right now.
Exactly.
That would be funny.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're out there, Joel wants to hook up with you. We just want to bring you on the show and pick your brain and see how Joel really was in high school.
Stephen Carter.
You know the stories he could tell about Joel, though?
I know, right?
That would be worth a show right there.
Oh.
Especially if they went to high school for all 4 years instead of just like for the last 2 or something like that. He could tell us all kinds of Joel stuff. Blackmail, dirt.
Scandalous
material,
stuff from high school.
Yes. Thank God those days are over. Jesus.
I miss those days, though, for sure.
Maybe
when you were
senior
young
year,
and you were just learning things and
you can be stupid.
And people were more sort of intimate with you. Like there's more. You were closer to people in a way.
I feel like it was the time that you could still be stupid. Your
you
parents,
could still be stupid.
Yeah, you still had your parents to rely on. Those were the days, I guess. Yeah, I guess those were the days. And then college right after that.
I think my high school year in particular, I had the best time.
My senior year I did, because that's what I said. I came out my senior year.
What did I say? Yeah, my senior year.
That was my favorite year, and that was the last semester of your senior year. Just kind of was a free-for-all. So I would go to like the club bars and the clubs like on Sunday nights and sleep through classes on Mondays.
Oh, wow. You were hardcore. I had never had any alcohol until college.
Oh, wow.
I didn't have any alcohol in high school.
Oh, yeah. I was introduced at a very young age.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was back when MD 2020, Mad Dog.
Oh, right.
That was a big thing. And back then there was only one flavor. There was a few years after that they started coming with other flavors.
I kind of wished I had been introduced earlier because once I hit college, I was like, oh, shit.
Sure.
There's no stopping me.
So you didn't have any training.
And there was 6th
Street.
High school training. I was at UC in Austin, and there's like 6th Street. I'm like, oh, fuck.
No, that's the big leagues there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the big leagues there. Yeah, we started out with wine spritzers, wine coolers, which are making a big thing again. They're coming
Bartles and
B&J, yeah, Bartles and James, yeah. That was the big thing for us then. And then when sometimes we had any money, we'd get like a case of beer or something like that.
Yeah.
We would buy a bottle of vodka and then go to the 7-Eleven and get a Slurpee. Pour vodka down in that.
Yeah.
There was one time we went really hardcore. We were at a friend's house. There was a bunch of us. There was like 8 or 9 of us, and we took a bottle of vodka and we poured grape Kool-Aid powder down inside the vodka and shook it up. Oh, things happened that night. Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. All in high school.
Did you ever do mini thins?
No.
I've heard of that.
Have you heard of mini thins?
I don't know.
It's basically ephedrine, and it was when ephedrine was legal. So
yes, I remember ephedrine.
You could go to the grocery store, or you could go to the gas station and buy.
Ephedrine.
I remember
speed.
I remember buying ephedrine.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
good times.
It's like you can use that to build chemicals now, so you have to go to the pharmacy
you have to go to the
to get
pharmacy
it
to get it. Mm-hmm.
Or pseudoephedrine or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
got
those
ruined. Days. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn drug makers.
I know.
People are cooking in the kitchens and shit.
I know.
Well,
we only have
for all of us.
We only have a couple of minutes left in the show. Look at this.
Well, wait.
Gosh.
I thought we were talking about drag.
We haven't talked about drag once.
Well, we were going to
every time we
started it.
Every time.
Drag show.
Every time. Okay, let's be honest. And I'm going to be honest with the audience here. Look, we had some, like I said, getting a drag queen on this show has turned out to be almost the most impossible thing on the planet. Maybe it's because our show is too small, or maybe it's because of whatever. But getting a queen on this show to talk about drag has turned out to be impossible. We're not giving up.
Nope.
We are not going to give up. We are going to have a drag queen on this show somehow, some way.
I'm just happy we are here, bitch.
Yeah, so we'll figure out how to do it.
Every week is a
Every week is a new adventure.
It's a new adventure.
I know. Every week is turned into a new adventure. And,
But you got through it.
mm-hmm. And I have to say, audience, that sometimes when you start something, when you start something and it gets hard, it does get hard. And there are times that you just want to like lay in bed all day with the blankets over you and go, I cannot do this anymore. This is harder than I thought, blah, 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 blah. It's amazing that when you surround yourself with the right people, they always pick you up and tell you, bitch, get your ass out of bed.
There you go.
Let's do this show and call it a day.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what we said.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty much what happened.
When you start something and it gets a little hard sometimes, remember, it is going to get hard sometimes. It is going to. Things are going to go wrong.
Expect the unexpected.
People are going to disappoint you, just like
You're gonna fall.
You're going to fall. Just like every other thing else in life. God knows I've been through a lot. But
it's not about the falling. It's about the getting back up.
You got to get back up. So I want to end this show with get
it back up, bitch.
David White and Elliot Brown across the table.
I have to change your name in my phone.
I know. I'm going to have to go back in my phone and change names and everything else. But know this, that it's good to be surrounded by good people. It really is. Even when you feel your lowest, it's good to be surrounded by good people. So
don't be that dramatic.
I'm not being dramatic.
Let's put it in perspective, please.
I'm putting it in perspective. I'm not trying to make some...
You're trying to go for the ratings.
Busted.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I'm going for ratings, I guess. So, as Miss Pinky would say, what does she say? Don't be good, be good at it.
Be good at it.
Yeah. So we're gonna call this session a done deal. Thank you, Miss White.
My pleasure.
Thank you, fun. Elliot.
You're welcome.
Whatever your name is this week, next week it'll be something different. Mm-hmm. So before we sign out, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, still Joel and Randy's Texas Tea for now, but expect some changes here in the future. Still the same concept, just a different name. So love you. Peace out. We'll see you later.